So I got to tell you, I thought about you with that ADP report, and it was like, sometimes you're not just completely partially right. Sometimes you're just partially right. This time, were you not right when you said disaster V, or did not the ADP number give you some confidence of that piece you wrote about a week ago?
Look, I think the worst of the economy was in the month of April. The worst for labor markets probably will be the month of May. Expect us to get another negative number tomorrow. And then we'll see the first part of the recovery will be fast. Maybe the unemployment rate falling 1 percentage point per month, maybe more than that. But then the second part of the recovery is going to be harder when the unemployment rate starts falling by 1 percentage point per year. So I expect us to see some very good numbers over the next couple months, and I expect us to still be in a very deep hole, even with all of those numbers.
You point out that some of the easy lifting will, if anything's easy in this environment, but some people will come back, and they'll come back right over, but then it gets tougher. And so we'll see some what looks like good numbers only to be followed by what looks like maybe not so good numbers. And I'm worried about where you are. I just looked at it on the big screen, and are you able to get out of there? Or I mean, you're not, you okay? This is not a hostage thing.
I got a 3 out of 10 on room rater for being in a hostage situation. The alternative is you could see my 3 children running around in the background. So you sort of have a choice of this. I'm trying to be safe from them.
You're safe from everything, I think. Wow, that is called stay in place, what you got going right there, Jason. What about, you saw what the ECB did? Shock and awe, more shock and awe. And we're not bashful here about Fed intervention, but you like all that. You actually want the states to get help. Do you think that's the most important thing we need to do from here?
Yeah, that's the one lever we haven't pulled. If you look in the United States, we have protected household balance sheets pretty well. Disposable personal income up in April, likely will be up for the quarter as a whole. The balance sheets we haven't protected are for states and localities. They're going to do another round of economic contraction. They're going to do another round of layoffs. No fault of their own, nothing irresponsible on their part. They have balanced budget requirements. Giving them money is one of the most effective things we could do macroeconomically that we haven't yet done.
You also, at the time that you wrote, not that you'd be political, but when you wrote that piece, you said it could be a Democrat's nightmare that the economy recovers very quickly right before the election. Do you think some recent developments make you, as someone who probably leans that way, or do you think that you're less worried that it's going to be a nightmare scenario for Democrats?
Sure, I'm a real believer in financial markets. I think they always get it right, and Joe Biden's probability has gone up from 43% to 54% on Predictive in just the last 3 days. No, but seriously, I think the events we're seeing right now are tragic and terrible for our country. I do think that the president has not handled them very well. I think that perception is shared by a lot of people. But ultimately, on the economic side, what should matter isn't how many jobs were lost, how many jobs were gained. Should be looking at the economic plans and asking going forward, which plans do we think would be better for people in America?
I watched that site too, but I've got another favorite now that actually has a chart, Jason. I don't know if you watch it, but it's an RCP composite average of seven different betting sites. And it had been, Trump was up by 9 points. Now Biden's up by about 3. I think out of the 7, they were 7 for 7 were for Trump 2 weeks ago. 6 out of 7 are for Biden now, and it's about a 3%. And at the bottom, it shows the crossover. So we'll see. Do you look at those sites more than poll numbers? Because poll numbers, I don't know, they kind of let us down last time, didn't they?
Yeah, I think poll numbers overreact to current events and think what matters today seems really dramatic and usually doesn't change the long term. So I think those betting sites are quite reliable. Economists have studied them for things like sporting events, and those betting sites are nearly perfect predictors of the probability that sports teams will win based on 10,000 episodes.